It's past 2 in the morning on your farm. The parsnips finish growing at 6 a.m. So you tell yourself, just one more day, then bed. And somehow that's the 4th time tonight you've said it. A farming game with no monsters, no combat, and no way to lose is keeping people up later than most shooters ever manage. That's the puzzle worth solving. Why does tending imaginary crops feel this good and this hard to stop? The game even tells you why you're here. You quit a soul-crushing desk job at a company called Joja Corp after reading a letter from your grandfather. Before any psychology, the story already knows this is about burnout. Start with what this game actually demands. Every day runs from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., compressed into about 14 real minutes. And your energy bar is finite. That's a scheduling problem wearing a straw hat. You're planning routes through your fields, batching chores, deciding which of 10 possible tasks today's daylight can actually hold. Miss the window, and that task waits an entire cycle before it opens again. Almost nothing pays off the moment you invest in it. Crops take days. Animals take weeks. The greenhouse and the community bundles take entire seasons. Marriage takes years. Every reward here sits on a delay. That delay should feel like punishment. In most systems, waiting is friction. But here's what this game does instead. It turns waiting into anticipation, and anticipation into the reason you open it again tomorrow. Bigger goals, restoring the community center, upgrading the farmhouse, only move through small daily actions. You're constantly translating a season-long plan into a checklist for today. That's executive function, dressed in overalls. Then there's the village itself. Dozens of townsfolk, each with birthdays, gift preferences, and daily schedules you start memorizing without meaning to. It's a light but real workout for the memory that tracks other people's lives. Some mornings you'll stand at 6 a.m. staring at a to-do list bigger than your energy bar allows. Water every crop, visit the mines, catch the tide pool fish before it turns. You cannot do all 3. All that mental effort has to buy you something, or nobody would keep playing. Psychologists studying well-being often point to 3 basic needs: autonomy, competence, relatedness. This farm somehow hands you all 3 at once. Autonomy first. There's no fail state, no forced quest line. You choose the farm's layout, your pace, what winning even means to you. Nobody here is grading your life. Competence comes next, and it's visible. A weed-choked field becomes a working farm you can watch grow under your own hands. That steady, visible feedback mirrors what psychologists call self-efficacy. Proof, repeated daily, that your actions actually work. Relatedness rounds it out. Villagers who remember you, relationships that deepen, a spouse, a co-op farm run with a friend. A recent player experience study frames the game's well-being effect through exactly this framework, with autonomy standing out most. Meanwhile, the daily loop, clear goals, immediate feedback, crops visibly changed overnight, is close to a perfect recipe for flow, the state where hours vanish and self-consciousness quiets down. That sounds purely good, and for a lot of players it is. But notice something, the exact mechanism producing that flow is about to become the problem. Cozy, low-pressure games are consistently linked in the research literature to lower reported stress. In surveys of games people credit for helping with anxiety or low mood, this one shows up constantly. Players describe the farm as somewhere else to be, entirely. Researchers have described cozy games like this one as digital third places, spaces outside home and work built for restoration. It's a rough map onto real restorative environments, though nobody's proven the same mechanism is fully at work here. There's a structural echo worth naming carefully here. Small, concrete, completable tasks that produce visible daily results mirror the logic behind behavioral activation, a technique used for low mood. The game isn't therapy, but its structure rhymes with it. Some commentators call this radical slowness, a deliberate pace built as a counter-experience to apps designed to hold your attention by force. It's a compelling idea, worth sitting with, even if it isn't a settled scientific finding. So where's the expensive part? It's built into the exact same design that makes this game feel restorative, And that's the piece almost nobody sees coming. Every night at bedtime, something is unfinished. A crop ready tomorrow morning. An upgrade landing at 9 a.m. A bundle item 1 turnip short. Sleeping is literally the save button, so stopping means abandoning tomorrow's almost finished thing. Psychologists call the pull of an unfinished task the Zeigarnik effect. Open loops that nag at attention until closed. This farm manufactures a fresh one every single night, then chains it straight into the next. And because a day only takes 14 real minutes, one more feels free. That's the trap. The same absorption that made 2 hours feel calming quietly erases your sense of how much time actually passed. I'll play 1 hour reliably becomes 3, and the mechanism responsible is the exact same one researchers praise for restoration. The benefit and the cost share one engine. Escapism research draws a line between recovery, escape that returns you to life recharged, and avoidance, where problems simply get left outside the farmhouse door. This world's frictionless comfort makes the second one unusually easy to choose. Picture it. Unopened mail on the counter, an unanswered text from a friend, a job application still sitting in drafts. All easier to ignore when there's a barn to build and a spouse waiting at the farmhouse door. The game doesn't cause that shift. It simply removes every obstacle that might interrupt it. No timer, no game over screen, nothing forcing you back to whatever you're actually avoiding. Then there's checklist creep, community center bundles, the museum collection, and a late-game perfection tracker quietly convert a sandbox into an obligation. The very autonomy that made this feel good starts eroding, and that's not the priciest bill still coming due. Years of in-game seasons poured into one save file create a real sunk cost pull. Walking away can feel like abandoning a life you built, even after the checklist stopped being fun seasons ago. Even the gentle stuff carries a small hook. Fishing treasure chests, geode contents, random town events, mild variable rewards compared to loot-driven games, but still tuned to keep you checking one more spot before bed. It's 1 a.m. The laundry's waiting, the dishes are waiting, and tomorrow's alarm is 6 hours away. But the coop upgrade finishes at 9, and that feels more urgent than any of it. So what's the actual return on 200 hours in this town? It depends entirely on what you're bringing to the farm with you. For someone using this as recovery-oriented rest, a deliberate time box break from a demanding day, this design is close to ideal, structured, low stakes, and genuinely restorative in how it feels. Even without proof, it restores attention itself. For someone using it to avoid a job search, a hard conversation, a real problem sitting untouched, the farm becomes an unusually comfortable place to hide. Same software, opposite outcome, depending entirely on what's waiting outside it. The tell is simple. Did you choose to keep playing, or did an unfinished crop make that choice for you? Again, at 2 in the morning, with work in 6 hours? One concrete fix. Decide your stopping point before you start the day, not after. Set an alarm for bedtime instead of letting the game's open loop set it for you. The letter that opens this game is about reclaiming your time from a job that owned too much of it. Don't let a farm quietly make the same trade in reverse. This game's real harvest isn't turnips or friendship hearts. It's whatever you have left over the next morning, rested, or running on borrowed sleep. That's the return worth tracking.